All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Daryl Andrews, Coach D, and StreamYard is like telling me like we're not connected to any of these.
I see live. I just don't see where we're.
Yeah, we're live, but it's weird because it's not allowing me to. StreamYard has somehow disconnected with some of the access. Okay, we're good to go now. So we're good. So it was that one location that we had the challenges with. All right. And so, no, it's actually a few locations. Interesting. But we're going to keep going anyway. So we're primarily streaming right now to LinkedIn. And
LinkedIn.
And we'll work with LinkedIn and the other areas. I'll figure that out. But I don't know what's going on. But anyway, everyone, this is small talk before the big talk. This is Daryl Andrews, Coach D. And it's good to be back on LinkedIn Live. But as mentioned, we stream to Facebook. We stream to YouTube. We have multiple locations that we stream to. And I am honored and privileged today to be on the program with a dear friend and a new business colleague and partner, and Ryan Drummond with the Athlete Book. And Ryan, take a moment to introduce yourself, man.
Let the world know. No, I appreciate you having me on. And I'm Ryan Drummond. I have recently been working with Coach D. I'm CEO and founder of the Athlete Book, and really what we specialize in is building community and helping people, kind of achieve the best through our technology and software. And traditionally, we've been doing that with college athletes as they transition out of being an athlete. And in this endeavor with you, Coach D, we're taking the resources that we have been leveraging and bringing that over to case management motivation. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, man. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. And just to let you know, for those who are watching in the beginning, I was able to get us streamed live on Facebook. While Ryan was talking, I was on the background working. So we got some of the Facebook stuff as well. But man, I'm going to tell you something. It's rare to find that perfect combination, man. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. We're in the same facility, here in Delaware. And we met and connected, and then, man, all of a sudden we start realizing there's a serious connection here to what we're doing. Yeah. Your work with the Athlete Book, I just happen to be Coach D. So,
And you were an athlete yourself. I know you played football and basketball growing up.
Yeah, man, I was good too, man. To be honest with you.
I know. I can see you're a big guy.
Yeah, yeah, man. See, some of my college teammates, you better not get into talking these stuff. So they may be watching some of this, but I was good, man. Yeah, I was good. No matter what they say, I was good. But anyway, and you did some athletics as well yourself. So
I got some help in the background.
You did your thing. But before we go into the specifics as far as what we're talking about with case management, I just want to talk in general about the power of motivation. And it's interesting, man. I've been involved, Ryan, with this whole thing of motivation for so long. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of research, on it. And what people don't realize, there's actually a psychology behind motivation. It's not simply just motivation for the sake of motivation. The word is made up of two words. Listen to this, and I would love to get your feedback and thoughts on this. It's motive and action merged together. Yeah. And so motivation is really motive action. A motive is an inner state that's driven by a goal. That's what a motive is. Right. And again, we're educating as well as talking about motivation today. So when you think of motivation, the first thing we have to realize it's deeply rooted. It's intrinsic. It's something that's internal. But here's the key. There's a goal that's causing that, to take that inspiration to move towards that goal to take place. So then the action is the action. You know what I mean? So really, if you break it down in its most simplistic form, motivation is really nothing but, kind of like inspiration towards a goal or movement towards a goal. So what's important is there's a goal. There's something I'm trying to accomplish that gets me up and gets me moving. Am I making sense to you, man? Does that make sense?
And what we always talk about here with the Athlete Book is when we're talking to athletes, and it's the same with whatever demographic, because it happens to all of us. We're all people. What is the goal? And whenever you kind of start to lose sight of the goal,
Yeah.
That's when you start to fall into the depressive mindset, because
Yep.
when you're getting up in the morning, you don't know where you're going. So it's like rule number one, you got to find out, hey, what is that goal? Let's articulate it and let's put it up on the board. And then that's what starts to drive us forward. I love the book Grit by Angela Duckworth.
I've heard
about that. You know, that is grit. What the grit portion is the every single day I'm moving towards that, no matter the challenges or that I have to overcome, because I need to get to that goal. That's the motivation portion.
It's really powerful, man, what you're saying, and it's true, especially in the space in which you're doing, and in this space, all spaces, really. If you're leading a company, or if you're in sales and marketing, or if you're a teacher in a school district, it still applies, man. You know, and I always say, you know, when you think about this goal, I say this quote a lot when it comes to talking about goals. It's impossible to hit a target that you don't have. You know what I mean? And it's like, what's the target? And so the target, in essence, becomes the things I'm motivated to accomplish. So if we're talking about organizational culture, if we're talking about, you know, business success, if we're talking about academic success, you know, if I don't have a target, if I don't have something that intrinsically motivates me to pursue something, then it's like playing basketball without the rims. What are you shooting at? You're running up and down the court.
You can't score.
You can't even score, you know? And so motivation is powerful, man, but motivation takes knowing that there's something I want to accomplish. And so when I think about that, it's power in motivation, man. It really is. And if anybody's out there taking a look here and listening to us, feel free to throw some thoughts into the chat feature. We'd love to hear your feedback on what we're talking about, Ryan and I. But I always say motivation, motivation in essence, when it's done correctly, Ryan, is actually a best practice. And people always like to talk about best practices.
Yeah.
But motivation is not some intangible that you just bring a speaker in to get everybody inspired and you go home. You know, it really is a metric that you can put within a system to produce an outcome. You see, so like when you played sports, what sports did you play? What sports did you play?
I played football, basketball, and lacrosse growing up, and then lacrosse in college.
Lacrosse in college. So did your coaches just basically say after one practice, okay, we got 10 games left, and just do your best?
No, that's not how it works.
We'll see you next practice one time. We'll see you every week for the games.
Yeah, good luck. We'll see you on the weekends.
No. What you do, you had to go out there and practice. They kept the target in front of you. This is what we're trying to do. So that's what I mean. And then you became motivated to win that game.
Right. Yeah. With the end goal of winning the championship.
With the end goal of winning the championship.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to share with people here is that motivation is a tool. A lot of people put it into this category. They don't understand how powerful it is. It is a tool that you can integrate into your daily operations to produce an outcome.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's ways to go about that. You know, it's obviously to focus on the goal. It's also, or like you mentioned, reading inspirational books, like the book you mentioned, Grit. It's watching people who have done certain things that you're looking to do. Like I have people that have mentored me that I just admire their work, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Miles Monroe. And what happens is you start to take that and weave it into your own narrative that pushes you out to achieve a particular outcome, you know, whatever that outcome may be. So let's shift gears a little bit, because I just wanted to lay a foundation talking about motivation, you know, and let's keep that motive action in mind. All right. So let's talk about this part of it now, because you and I are working on something I think that's going to be pretty neat.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I guess because when you moved into your office, I remember going, I'm going to work with this guy one day. And it's like, here we are, like on this live session, and it's I'm excited because I'm going to let you say it, and then I'll fill in.
Yeah,
I don't want to take
but no, and it's likewise, because I have this work that I'm doing in this field, multiple fields I'm working in, but this field we're talking about in particular. And then you have this technology as well as the personal desire and drive too. So it's not just the technology that you have, but you as an individual bring a lot of power to this equation based upon how you operate. But we looked at workforce development, man, and we said, hey, right now in the workforce development space, it's challenging, man. Yeah. You got hundreds and thousands of millions of people who went through, a year and a half of COVID-19 and quarantines and stay at home, and you can't do this. Watch out, this disease can kill you, the trauma, the challenges, and all of that. And now they're back and have to get the people back to working. Like we hear people talk about, man, folks don't want to work. Folks are staying home. Folks got comfortable. But then you got this body of people that's responsible for reaching those people and helping them get back to work.
Right. When they may not be feeling it themselves on that any given day.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Elaborate on that a little bit. What do you mean? Talk to us about that.
Look, I've never been a case manager, right? I mean, that's been more in your world, but I could only imagine, you're dealing with the challenges that you have with COVID, with family, with, bills that are coming in. And then all of a sudden now you have to give to help your clients lift themselves up. And you're like, but I'm empty. So
yeah, man.
This is the things that I hear you talk about that, you know what, it's a different group for us, but again, with the
man. No, you're right. And so we have people that have to, this is what we're trying to communicate. We have people, and this is case managers, but it's any frontline person in workforce development, so it could be multiple categories, but you have people who have been traumatized themselves, but then now have to go empower. Think about that. I'm dealing with my own trauma. I'm trying to balance, from COVID, kid at home, taking classes, multiple kids doing that. And, all the other challenges. We're fearful. We can't go outside. We can't do this. I'm not in an office with my peers anymore. So I don't have, the synergy that comes with that. But then also, I've accumulated a lot of stress. I may have some, and then I'm being told now I got to go and motivate people to find work. And so that to me, and they're not the only category of people that need this, but that's if anybody needs to be empowered, it's that person that has to go out every day and empower. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think that what's powerful about what we're going to start to establish between our organizations is, we're all sick of these Zooms, and most of the time when you are on a Zoom, you're most likely with the other people that you're working with. But there's people all around the country that are dealing with the same issues that we're going to be able to bring together. And it's going to be virtual, but you've never seen anything like this. This is not your typical Zoom. This is a community environment where there's engagement, and no matter how many people show up, we're going to guarantee that it's intimate in terms of who you're connecting with, but then getting the strategies that you're going to be able to deliver for all of them to handle it, but then also connect with your peers from around the country.
Well, so let's talk about that, since that's what we want to mention. So what Ryan is saying is we have partnered, all right, Daryl Andrews LLC and Associates in the Athlete Book, and we've created I think something. First of all, it's going to be one of the first of its type. You know what I mean? Of this nature, specifically for this group of people. Now, I work in corporate. I do diversity, equity, and inclusion. I do core values integration. I do a lot of different things, but we also have a strong niche in workforce development. But the case managers are the ones who are in the trenches. If you're out there and you're a case manager or work in workforce, just type in some thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Are the ones who are really in the trenches that need this motivation. So we came together and said, okay, Coach D can travel, to 50 different states and try to get on stages and do this, or we can create a community and we can create an initiative online where you can reach all the states, all the people in one shot, where people can have exposure. And what we're calling it is the Case Management Motivation Summit, and it's virtual, the Virtual Case Management Motivation Summit. Now, let me pause and say the summit is a foundation. That's all it is. It's a powerful foundation. It's going to inspire you as a case manager. Is going to give you tools to handle compassion fatigue, to deal with those moments when you feel challenged, It's going to give you tools to be able to synergize with your peers throughout the country. But what you're going to create is and I'm telling you, man, this is a powerful statement, a motivational communities of practice. That's what it's going to create, and being a former athlete, how important is that, man, from your perspective? How important is it to have those people around you that's thinking like you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I never played a solo sport, so you rely on that kind of a team, and you may not be finding it right now in your current environment, or not and then you're not really willing to share what's going on. But with this, that connection will be made, and it's like, for anybody watching this, I'm fortunate enough to be a few doors down from Coach D in our same facility. And when the doors are open, he doesn't know he's on a call. Like, I'm benefiting from the motivational tactics that you're sharing with your group. So I'm happy to be providing technology, maybe a different perspective as well, and things that we've learned. But man, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, man, it is. And listen, I think the best way to say this, and maybe I don't know, I type it in the chat feature, but we're trying to empower the empowerers. We're empowering the people that have to go out and empower. And that's really important, man, because now this is just for this field we're talking about, but that's in general. What happened with COVID and what happened in the past year, man, it takes a lot of energy to empower. You know what I mean? Especially if your tank is empty itself. So what we're going to do on, September the 15th, this is from September 15th from 1 to 4 p.m., is put fuel in that tank, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have the link? Because I have it if you need be. Because
no, I'll put the link in there for folks who may be watching. Let me pull this out here, that part, and I'm putting it into this, it just popped into the chat feature, and you can see the page. But that's the page to the summit. All right, it's the page to the summit to take a look at what we're talking about. Because we're creating a movement, which I call it, Ryan, a movement towards motivation for this industry, in particular with the ones who are in the front line. Because I've been in thousands of these locations, and people are just drained. It's a good drain, though, if there's any such thing as a good drain, because what they're doing is pouring into the lives of other people. You know what I mean? They're improving people's lives. They're all helping them find employment. They're helping them, and today more than ever, that's needed, man. I mean, we are, we've improved when it comes to employment. I know what you're dealing with the athlete book. You're trying to help the athletes and making the connections to corporations. For those of you who don't know about that, you need to put your link in there too, because that's powerful. What you're doing, connecting athletes to the workplace. But whatever capacity, it still takes a lot of energy to be able to do the work post-pandemic. You know what I mean? Post-pandemic. So motivation plays a huge role in all of this, man. And you got to keep the tanks filled up of the people who are emptying out the tanks every day.
Yeah. Because that's never going to go away. The stresses and the trauma that's involved with the work that's being done, it's going to be a constant. But what you show me in terms of the tactics and how you can deal with that's that muscle that can be flexed on a daily basis. That it's a feeling thing. So just imagine how you feel knowing that you're going to be able to fill your own tank back up, knowing that you're always emptying it on a daily basis.
It's going to be powerful because, and we'll put the page up again. And so if those, go take a look at the page, and if you work in case management, share with your peers. Okay, and so. Okay, I don't see a chat link. So somebody said they're not seeing the chat link. I just put it in there. I don't know why it's not going to link. Yeah, I just put it in. Chat or link to your event in September. Somebody just said that. Bob just said that. And for some reason, it's not streaming to Facebook. We're having problems, technical issues. What I'm going to do, for those of you who are watching this, I'm going to go to LinkedIn and I'll put it in. I don't know, even if Brian, if you see it on here and you go to LinkedIn, you can put it in there because this is viewing live, because there's been a few people that have mentioned this, so I apologize for that. It's technical issues.
I'm going to put it in there now.
Yeah.
I got the link. Oh, there
you got the link. Okay, put it in there because
what's happening. Seeing me on a live while we're
Say hi to yourself, right?
Hey, buddy. Okay,
Hey,
hold
what's
on.
going on, Ryan?
Yeah, but just
Yeah, but
well,
pop that in there. And I'm sorry, thank you, Mr. Churchwell, for letting us know that, because I don't know why, for some reason, some of these pages are not they're not allowing us to so, but I am in StreamYard, I am putting in links here, so I don't know why it's not doing it. I'm actually just putting Ryan's in right now, the page for his yeah, I can see right now it's only going to a few of the ones we're already streaming to. So I got to go back. I'll go into LinkedIn and I'll go into Facebook later, and I'll put the links in once we're done, because for some reason it's just not doing it. I don't know why. We're having some problem. Maybe StreamYard is having some problems. But the reality is, what we're trying to do, I want people to understand how important this is, Ryan, and maybe you can elaborate on it. We're merging technology with motivation, with yeah. We're trying. Bob, he said, "Could we place it in the comments?" I just placed it again in the comments. So for some reason, it's not going over there, but I will place it in the comments in a moment. I don't have access to the comments through StreamYard. We're in StreamYard right now, so StreamYard is not streaming to LinkedIn for some reason.
Yeah, and I can DM Bob as well.
Yeah, you can definitely DM him on that, and
yeah,
I don't know why that's happening, but it will be there in just a few moments once we're done with this. But what we want people to understand is that this is going to be the first of its kind. It's going to be something that is going to have ongoing impact. We're not just that one event. We're looking at some other things too. I don't want to go into all the details right now, but let it be known that once we do this summit, there's going to be a lot of follow-up activity monthly, all right, with this work, because we realize that we're both former athletes, and we realize that when you do something, you got to have a strategy to keep doing it consistently in order to produce the results that you want. And so in order for us, to look at case management, motivation being a daily part of the culture of the various organizations that are out there, there needs to be systems in place to do that. Because if not, we're looking for an annual hit, maybe at a conference, or we're looking at something every now and then and say, hey, how do we read this into the culture? So that when we go to the conference, we're sharing best practices. We're already doing some of this stuff, So that's really important. Ryan, are you popping some of this on LinkedIn? Look like you're doing something. Are you popping some of this on the LinkedIn page?
When I tried to message it, it went right to you. But what I could do is real quickly, I could share my screen and then we can share the link afterwards.
We definitely, let's do that and show that real quick. And then I'm going to go to LinkedIn. And if you share your page while you're doing that, I'm gonna add it to the stream. You explain what's going on. I'm gonna go to LinkedIn and pop that page in LinkedIn. All right. So go ahead and talk about it for a few moments.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to talk more about the technology. We are all used to doing these Zoom calls where once you have more than 6 people in a Zoom call, it's hard to continuously have conversation. While Coach D and I will be presenting, and everybody will be able to see featured presentation, which anybody who comes in will have that all on demand. The other part is that we're going to be in a room very similar to this room here. And what's nice about this is that you can move around the room. You have the autonomy to move around the room, meet your peers from around the country, see who's sitting where, and really build relationships. And then we're going to have kind of breakout sessions where we're practicing some of the items that Coach D is going to be talking about. So that's we look forward to having you all. There is an early bird special on this, which you can access right here, and also you're available to access it versus purchase order as well. So we're excited. There's a video on here if you want to learn more, and we will share that link.
Well, what I'm doing right now as you're sharing that, I'm actually on LinkedIn on the page, and my hope is that I can do this right. If I can, it's like technology is acting weird right now, and the good
news is we'll be using a different platform for the event too. And
like I said, I just what I'm going to be doing, I just put this in here, and for some reason it didn't give me the why is this not? Oh, here it is. All right. So I put the page in there on LinkedIn, but it went to your website. But I'm gonna put it in again so that folks on LinkedIn will have it. That's the first one is Brian's page website, but this one I'm putting up now is the one I just put up there. So it's on LinkedIn right now.
Yep. Hey, Coach D, the other thing I want to mention too is, and this is not the purpose of this call or the event, but for anybody that is looking to hire junior case managers, we've got a bunch of athletes that want to give and want to get into that space. So, we welcome those conversations as well. So
yeah, and I just placed your website on the page, so it's there, so folks can know if they're interested in learning more about what you're doing with the athletes. There it is. It's right there. It's right on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn page. So let me come back. I'm looking at myself and it's weird. Yeah, Bob, we got it in there. Thank you, man.
You're dropping your son off at school next tomorrow, right?
Yeah. We're not gonna go much longer because I gotta head on home. We're doing some things together. But I just wanted to kind of introduce people to this and introduce them to you too, because and a lot of people watch this. They may not be on now, but we get a lot of views from this through the different mediums. I got to get reconnected to the virtual workforce community that we have. Somehow it got out of there, but we'll get this video over to that. But I just want people to know that we are working together collectively, and this is the beginning. You know what I mean? We're going to be creating some powerful tools through our collaboration, really fusing, motivational practices with technology, but in a way that people can have intimate communications with people. Not like you're in some big room with 25,000 people and we're just screaming and hollering at, this is now, let's take it and move it to action like we talked about in the beginning. So this information we just shared, again, on LinkedIn primarily, I haven't shared it on the other pages as of yet. I'll figure out the StreamYard problem, but it's going to be something it's going to be a game changer in workforce development. I know because I'm in that space often, and we are seeing people are just going through it. It's challenging, and this is going to be a tool that's going to be advantageous and beneficial to make motivation a best practice on your day-to-day operations. Not a once a year event, but every single day. We're going to provide you with the tools. We're going to give you some strategies. We're going to talk about overcoming some of the barriers. It's going to be hands-on interactive, but of course, highly motivational, because that's what we do. So, hey, man, I'm not going to take much longer. I got to get home. I got a son that's going off to college. I got things to do. Any last words, Ryan? Your information is in the page. So if you have any questions for Ryan about the athlete book, reach out to him. Well, any last parting thoughts, man?
No. Well, I think the thing that we're also working towards here that we didn't really talk about is, again, with the technology, is measuring how frequently case managers within a group are working on themselves from a motivational perspective. And
yes,
with our technology, building community and being able to kind of track how often you're working on yourself, you can start to see the group rise together when they go through a process like this. So I'm looking
it's going to be powerful, man. And let's make sure we point this out as well. It's going to be people from all over the country. So it's not going to be just folks in your neck of the woods. You're going to hear best practices from your peers. If you're in California, your peers in New York, your peers in Montana. So this is not just, it's not exclusive to an area. Now, Ryan and I are working on some more, narrow focus where maybe Texas wants to do something similar to this, or, Idaho wants to do something. We can make it more state specific, but originally we're looking at the national marketplace and the best practices from a national marketplace and motivation nationally. So, but we are looking at breaking it down to a smaller size scale with states that want to maybe do something with our collaboration in this arena. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So, hey, my friend, take care. My guy, again, I'm taking my son off the VMI, man. And they call him a rat the first year. They're just going to work him over. But he's going to come back a strong, powerful man. I know he is. And, thank you, man.
It's a tough day. So,
yes, sir.
Enjoy that. But
yes, sir.
I'm that.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you. And those who got the information, take a look. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Mm-hmm.